Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Safe and Spencer Show. Today we have two very special guests. We're talking about friendships and betrayal today. So, first of all, this is Sydney, and this is Gianna. Say hi, guys. Yeah, so let's get right into it. Safe, you want to ask the first questions?
Sure, yeah. So, how long have you two been friends?
It's kind of funny. We have an app, actually, about how long we've been friends. We've been friends for 10 months. Maybe a year. Maybe.
Something like that.
We've been friends for a year, but we've been, like, best friends for, like, 10 months.
Yeah, we've known each other for, like, a couple of years. Because she was brought to our church one day. She was brought to the youth group. And at first, I was like, who is this gal? She's, like, so pretty. Like, what's going on? And I genuinely thought that. I'm not just, like, making things up, I promise. But it was, like, we didn't become best friends until, like, that 10 months.
Until that summer camp happened.
Until summer camp.
Wait, so you guys seem to be, like, way tighter than you guys are. I didn't know that you guys have actually only been friends for 10 months. It feels like you guys have been friends. I thought you were just going to be like, oh, yeah, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years.
8 years.
Yeah, no, but that's, so you guys have, like, a really good friendship for a short amount of time.
No, we just, like, clicked. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I don't know. I think we just, like, we bond over a bunch of different, like, first thing we bonded over was candles, by the way.
And then, wait. So and
We
then
met
and
in
then
a
let's
candle
get more
aisle.
into it. So what did you guys? You guys both said, or somebody said, I don't know if it was Gianna or Sydney. Somebody mentioned a summer camp, right? So tell me about that.
Okay. Me and Sydney, we were like, oh, let's go to summer camp, obviously, for our church. So we went to summer camp, and it was great. And me and Sydney and these other girls, we were all in a tent, but me and Sydney did not have, like, the best night of sleep, so we decided to go in our own, like, tent, like a two-person tent that Emily Clifton, shout out to her, she has. So we, like, built it, whatever, and then we just slept in that, like, all night, and, well, the rest of the week, I guess. And we just got super close. Like, we, like, realized that, like, we, like, go through troubles, like, almost the exact same, and, like, all this kind of stuff. And we just, like, bonded over so many different things.
Let's be clear. This tent was a 4-person tent. And there were 6 girls and 6 suitcases in the tent. So
Wow.
it was jam-packed.
It was
so
a lot.
Well,
It was a lot.
we moved
Sydney,
out.
when would you say that was the moment where you were like, yeah, Gianna is definitely a bestie?
Okay. So it first started when we were in a candle aisle together. So the church took all the girls to go thrifting, and we all split up. It was, like, right before school, so, like, oh, get, like, school supplies and stuff. And I was like, psh, school supplies? Nah. So
Like
I
at
went
a thrift store, or were you guys at, like, Target?
We
It
were
was
like
like-
Ross.
it was like Ross, yeah.
They sell, like, school supplies at Ross.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
sell
They do.
everything
They
at
sell
Ross,
everything
bro.
at Ross.
Dress
Anyways.
for less, baby.
So I went to the candle aisle, and then Gianna went to the candle aisle. I was like, bro, this girl goes to my church. So we started talking, and we're like, oh my gosh, this is, like, my best friend. And for some reason I was like, can you be my best friend? And then we started getting closer, and then, like, summer camp happened, and then we were like, okay, we're besties.
Like, it's official. It's
Okay,
official.
it's official now.
And when did you?
It was like
when
this
did it
time
click?
last year. That's
This time
crazy.
last year.
Really?
That makes it 12 months.
That's facts.
That's a year.
Yeah, that means
Not 10 months.
Anyway.
When would you say that it clicked for you that, yeah, Sydney's definitely a bestie?
I think it was a little after summer camp. Like, I thought, like, summer camp was just going to be, like, a thing. Like, we both were, like, we both agreed on the same disagreement, I guess. So I was just like, yeah, she's definitely a close friend.
What was
But
the
I-
disagreement? I'm sorry. I just have to know.
There's this person, and she kind of
Okay,
yelled
so-
at me.
So we're friends over a mutual dislike?
Yeah,
And candles.
And that's, like, and candles.
and candles.
And
Okay.
candles.
But I think after summer camp, it built to so much more. Like, she, like, started texting me and we started hanging out more than just church, I guess. And then we found out that we were going to the same school, which was so exciting, because then we went to the same school, and we just, like, got to know each other way more. And I was like, yeah, she's definitely one of my best friends, because I can talk to her about so much, and I'm not, like, scared she's going to judge me or whatever.
It's
Hmm.
like, I actually remember the first time she came over. It was like, I think it was Thanksgiving dinner or
It
something.
was the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it was like the day after Thanksgiving, and she came over, and she's like, what is going on in this household?
The nicest were here.
Yeah, for reference, this is my brother.
Yeah,
And-
Sydney's actually my sister, so interesting.
We have a little bit of a wackadoodle house, but that's because we're just
Crazy family, I guess.
we're a
I don't
little
know.
we're a little
Yeah.
crazy. we make it crazy in a good way. But no, she came over, and I remember when she came out, she didn't judge us. She was like, okay, I'll be a part of this. I don't know what's going on. Why are they feeding the dog turkey? Okay. So
You're just talking to us, remember?
okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
Do you forgive me?
Shut up. Keep going.
I was gonna say.
Anyways,
Yeah, so let's start about like just friendships. How do you go about pursuing relationships in a new environment per se, like a new school, new church, just a new group of friends, and you just know one person and you're meeting a few other people? How do you go about pursuing relationships with other people like that?
I'm a very extroverted person, so I think it's like easy to make friends, I guess, but it takes a lot to get close to someone. So, because there's like been a few times where like I get super close to someone and then they just like stab me in the back. And I think that's a lot because I can make a lot of friends, like a lot of like say hi friends, I guess, or like, but it takes a lot to like get to know me and like get to know my personality and like to actually hang out and like for me to consider you like a good friend or like a best friend. I know that sounds kind of petty, but like it's like a lot to like to get me to like consider you one of my really good friends, I guess.
what about you?
I was literally thinking the same thing. So, but yeah, for me, it's like whoever I'm like drawn to, because whenever you enter a room, it's like there's always the people you like draw to, and then once you get to know them better, you're like, this is my friend. And what Gianna said, it's like it's easy to like make like say hi to friends, but like once you get close to someone, it's like it's so nice, and that's how I kind of make friends, I guess.
That's cool. So, let's say you were put in an environment where you don't really know anyone around you and you don't have that many friends in that place. What would be the first thing that you would do? Sydney.
So I have social anxiety, so that in itself scares me. But I feel like I would try to go up to someone that like seems like they wouldn't be like, what the heck are you doing? Like, get away from me type of a person, I guess. And just kind of try to talk to new people, because I don't have people there I know, so.
What about you, Gianna?
I think it's kind of like an issue that I have, but I'd kind of be like super outgoing from the beginning. So like if someone like comes up to me or whatever, like I would want to know they like would actually want to be my friend and they don't just want someone to talk to, I guess. So I would like go up to someone and be like, hi, my name's Gianna, da, 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 and then I'd start like talking a bunch, and then they'd be like, this is a little weird. So they would either like walk away, or if they actually wanted to like talk to me, they'd like be like, oh, da, da, and then like match my energy almost. And I think that is very valued, because if that happens, then I'm like, oh, you're one of my friends now. It's fun.
Now, there's also situations with friendships when, let's say, you two are really good friends, but then one of you has a different friend group. Let's say if you didn't go to the same school, and now there's a gathering where, let's say they're your friends, Gianna, and then you invite Sydney to the setting, and now she's there to meet your close friends for the first time. What would you want, or what would you expect of Sydney to do in a situation like that?
I think I definitely introduce her to everyone, and if she felt like uncomfortable, like I'm not saying that she would, but if she felt uncomfortable, like I'd try and like remove the issue, I guess. But I know that she gets along with a lot of people that I'm like friends with, because I'm friends with very, I don't know, bubbly people, I guess. So they're very like outgoing, and they're not like super cliquey, which is kind of annoying if you're someone like that. No, but I think they would like ask like what her name was or whatever, and if she like responds, and that's like great, because then she can be included to anything we're doing. And like, yeah, I think the best situation, I guess, would her just being like, oh, and like becoming friends with them as well.
And what would be something that you wouldn't want her to do?
Walk away and not talk to them at all, because that's so annoying.
So like, would you be annoyed if you invited her and she just sat there silently the whole time?
Yes, I'd be very annoyed.
One thing I like to add is that there's always people that are like that, though. Like, so you're going to have people that, like, for example, there's this kid that I know that I try to connect to him all the time. Super quiet kid. I'm just now starting to get him to break his shell. You might see him on the podcast. You might not. Depends on how good I am at cracking open his shell, I guess. But there's always kids that are going to be like that. There's kids that are always super, super introverted. And no matter how many people you introduce them to, even if you introduce them to somebody almost exactly the same like them, like similar personalities, very introverted, very quiet, they're still going to struggle to open up and connect with people. And they'll just sit there. Like, won't say a word, sit there. What do you do in that situation that you know that person is introverted like that?
I honestly like don't know, because people like, it's really bad, but like introverted people, like, kind of like, I don't know, I just don't get along with them very well, so I kind of like stay away from them, which is kind of bad. But if I meet someone that's introverted, I make sure that I feel like I let them feel as welcome as possible, so they don't have to be afraid to like talk or whatever. So yeah, I think. Yeah.
Sadie, how about you?
For the introverted question is
Yeah,
what I'm
because I know you tend to be more.
Yeah, so for half of my life I considered myself an introvert, because I just didn't want to talk to people, and when it came to like sharing like how I really felt about situations, I was like, absolutely not, like, get me away. So I feel like I could kind of relate to someone who doesn't like really feel like they want to talk to people. So I feel like if I'm a close friend of theirs, I can talk to them, because it's like, because as someone who like was introverted, I know that deep down you really do want someone to talk to you, or at least I did, because it's like you always want friends. It's not like you're gonna like want to be alone like all your life, but it's just it's hard to talk to people. So like just small steps, I feel like, is a good thing for introverted people, because like if you take like super big steps and you're already like, oh, like this is like my name and this is everything and blah 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 blah, and it's like so much information for them to process. It's like very difficult. So taking those small steps and being like, hey, this is so and so, like, you guys want to talk, like, cool. So I feel like that's what I would do.
Yeah, so I noticed this, just a commonality between you two, or something you have in common. Both as Christians, you guys are trying to pursue relationships that not only grow your relationship between each other, but your walk in Christ, right? So you guys are not only looking for relationships to pursue, but you guys are looking for fellowship, right, through relationships. How do you go about pursuing a Christian relationship and growing in fellowship, and how do you go about pursuing a non-Christian relationship, and what do you have, like, what are the goals of that relationship? Because if you have a Christian friend and your relationship is for fellowship, right, so you guys can both grow in your walk together, what are the goals of your relationships with non-Christian friends? Either one of you.
Oh, I think something that like always stays in like the back of my mind at least is keep your Christian friends close, and like those non-Christian friends, like you can obviously be friends with them, but don't keep them as close, I guess. So make sure your Christian friends are your core. And I think that's really important, because like me and Sydney's relationship is a pretty prime example, because we're allowed to like keep each other accountable, and like I can't, let's say I'm going through something, I can't pray with one of my non-Christian friends like I can with any of you. Like if I need anything, I can go up to any of you and be like, hey, I need prayer, and you'd be like more than willing. But if I go up to someone,
I want to stop you real quick before we lose that point. You said that when you have a non-Christian friend, you can't really pray with that person.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little bit more about that? Would you like, what makes you not want to pray like with that person?
well, they like aren't as open to prayer, obviously, if they're non-Christians, because they're like, if I go up to them and I'm just gonna be like, oh, I need prayer, they're gonna be like, what are you even talking about? And that's something that honestly like drives me away from being friends with them, because if I can't go to them with all of my like unfiltered emotions, like, then why would you like even want to be friends with me? Because if you want me at my high, you have to have me at my low as well. You know what I'm saying? So.
Would you say that things like prayer were things that were just basic and I mean kind of spread around everyone kind of got the idea, but then now most people wouldn't be willing to pray with you? Like if we were sitting here just a couple years ago, would you say it would have been easier to go to like other people and ask for prayer?
Oh, absolutely not. I think over the past few years, my faith has grown so much, especially being at Mission Hills, because if I was sitting here 4 years ago or whatever, I would not even ask for prayer. I wouldn't even show anybody my emotion. Like, I wouldn't even want to go to like anybody and be like, I'm a little upset, like I'm a little sad. Like, I'd just be like, yeah, I'm fine. and then they'd like just have to go along with their day. But I think that's like very important that I've built myself to where I can go up to someone and not be ashamed of needing prayer, I guess.
Wait, so back to my question. I'm just curious. So why do you still pursue like relationships? I'm not saying like it's a bad thing. I'm just curious on what you guys think. Because remember, this show is all about why we believe what we believe. First, to get why you believe, we have to know what you believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know, what do you guys pursue relationships with non-Christian friends for? Is it just because, or is it for fun, or why?
Well, like sports, there's a lot of non-Christian people, but
Sure.
I need to be friends with them because they're on my sports team. Or if I've been friends with them for like a while, like since we were babies, like I can't just be like, oh, you're not a Christian, so I can't be friends with you.
I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I can obviously pray that they'll become Christians and like talk about the gospels with them. And even if they don't get it, like I just want to make sure I can apply it in their lives just so they know that like I am like one of their Christian friends, and if they ever need anything, they can still come to me. So just in case like they're going through a dark time, I can be that light that like they
That's
need,
good.
I guess. Just in case like they don't have anybody else they can go to.
Like that
Just
application
before
point.
I add any comments or anything, everyone just feel free to like share on a question if you feel like
Yeah,
you want
guys
to.
can ask-
We
you
don't
guys
have to
can
like
ask us
direct. Yeah,
questions.
you can ask us too, but we don't feel like we have to direct the question to any of you. When we
Yeah.
just like say something, if you feel like saying something, just go for it.
I like the way you put that, Gianna, though. I like the way you were like, I can just be there for them, like, or just mention things just so that it's in their life. Like, Gregory Kokel, like, the way he says, so he's a Christian apologist, right? He wrote a book. I love the book. It's called Tactics. In the way he says, the way he witnesses is he doesn't talk to people and try to just share the gospel with them. He's just trying to put a rock or a pebble in their shoe, something that will bother them, something that will make them think about it later, like something just to
Fruit
bother
for
them.
mind.
Just something, just not even like a seed to plant that'll be like harvested, just something to make. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
it's there. You're not gonna forget about it, and it's gonna be on your mind until you think about it, until you get answers for that. So I love the way you put that. That just planting things and just leaving things out there. It's a really good application.
I think like going off of that, there's like many reasons why you should have non-Christian friends, but like also Christians get like the worst rap sometimes, like
That's fair.
because like people think that we're like homophobic and we're transphobic, and we get like the worst like rap ever because we're like mean to people. So like having these non-Christian friends and being able to like share the light of Jesus and being like, we're not like all like bad people, we're actually good. It's like it's so nice to have like, it's like you need to be that example for non-Christian friends that like sorry like you can be for Christian friends, but you need to be for non-Christian friends. There's a lot of other reasons why I should have non-Christian friends. Like also like you need like, we're not all about just converting people. Like we're not missionaries all convert or like, yeah, but
Yeah.
we
Convert
need
to-
non-Christian friends
Flirt to
because we
Don't
also
flirt to convert, guys.
It's
not
really bad.
flirt to convert. It's bad. But no, you need like non-Christian friends. So sorry, you need non-Christian friends so that like, I don't know how to put this, like, so you can kind of see the other side. Because like if you don't have those non-Christian friends, how are you ever gonna understand like their point of view about the world and how they see things other than the Christian standpoint if you only have Christian friends?
I actually like that too. I was
Yeah.
listening, so
Sorry. Earlier on, Gianna, you said that you kind of like your heart kind of softened when you started coming more to church, and now you've been able to share more of your feelings and be more emotionally, I guess, mature in a way. Would you say, yeah, that like going to church has softened your heart and has put it in a condition where you can then grow more as a person?
Yeah, I think going to church, because like right before COVID, I like didn't go to church at all, and all through COVID, I didn't go to church, just because of something that happened at my last church. And then I found missions. Like I like got so scared about interacting with Christians because of how like past people have treated me that I like didn't even want to go to church. So as soon as I found Mission Hills,
Can you share some of the things that they did?
well, I went to a church before COVID, and I was best friends with like the pastor's kids. So I was like, my mom was like the worship leader, my dad was like super in the church, whatever. And I was like super in it. Like I loved it. Like I was a church kid. Like I grew up at church, obviously. And so I was like super in it. I loved it. And then the pastor and his daughters moved away. So I was like, oh, whatever. And that church like pushed me out. Like they like didn't even talk to me anymore. And I was like, I'm so confused. So that happened right before COVID. And then I was like talking to my parents. I was like, I don't even want to go to church anymore. Like I hate it. Like no one even likes me. Da, da, da. So I didn't even go to church through COVID. And then I went to Mission Hills through like a friend, and it was like the best thing I've ever done. I was talking to, what's her name? Mallory Ship, Emily's mom. And she was like, I'm telling you, Mission Hills is like the best. No, I'm telling you. She was like, Mission Hills is the most welcoming, like best church I've ever been to. And I was like, that's literal facts. Like it was the best church I've like ever, I've ever like been to in my entire life. And I think that was like just the community was like one thing that like let me stick there, I guess, and has like grown my faith a bunch.
Would you guys say that when you're away from church and away from God, your heart kind of hardens with your friends and even with family, and you get less emotionally open, or do you see it as something that doesn't affect you? To all three of you.
Yeah. Sure. So when I love the thing when the Bible says iron sharpeneth iron. So when you see yourself away from a Christian friendship and you're not hanging out with those same friends a lot, you tend to just start seeing yourself veer off the path, because if you're not hanging out with those Christian friends, you're not constantly being accountable or held accountable, and it's just like the way the world is just slowly seeping in, and you're watching yourself become further and further away from where you should be. And then when you come back, you're sharpened again. So the whole time when you're drifting away, you're dulled to a sense. And then you become sharpened when you're closer with those Christian friends. So I love the way the Bible puts that. And it's so true and it's accurate, the way that the people you hang out with are the people that you become like. And I've heard that before too. It's like, you're just a mixture of your like 4 closest friends or something like that, you know?
Something that I like saying is the church doesn't only exist on Sunday, so you can't be
Amen.
someone else on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or maybe someone on Wednesday because you have like youth group or something. But it is so hard to like not like kind of change for your non-Christian friends, because the world has so much pressure, and it's like if you say one wrong thing or you offend one wrong person, it goes into like something that it's like it's so hard, because like everything you do and say as a Christian, the world tries to reject. So it's hard not to be someone else like when you're with your non-Christian friends, because they want you to be something else.
Would you say that you guys change your attitude depending on the type of people that you're hanging out with? I mean, when you're not hanging with your super close Christian friends, are your tendencies and are your attitudes changed to cater to them? Or do you usually stay firm in your personality and in the way you handle yourself, even with
Can I
your
answer
closer
that?
friends? Go for it.
Yeah, so anyway, so when I pursue relationships with, I guess, non-Christians and Christians alike, I'm trying to grow as close as I can to both in an extent, right? Because you can't just walk up to a random person and start sharing the gospel and then they won't really accept it. You have to have a credibility to a sense with it. So if you know the person really well and you're like very good friends with them, and then you share the gospel with them, they'll be more apt to accept it rather than if you're not super close friends with them, right?
Mhm.
So I try to grow really close relationships with non-Christian friends to be able to put that pebble in their shoe without them taking it out, so that they can think about it more than if I'm just some random guy that said some random thing on the side of the street and then yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But you almost have to cater to the type of person that you're talking to, not necessarily whether non-Christian or Christian, but like with the same kid that I was talking about earlier. Super quiet, right? you can't be the most obnoxious person around him.
Mm.
Otherwise, he's not going to be drawn close to you. And that's a
Absolutely.
relationship I want to pursue so I can witness to him and help him grow in his faith as well as him help me grow in my faith, right? So you have to pursue that relationship in a very different way than you would with somebody who has a similar personality. Because he's pretty opposite of me. He's very quiet. I tend to be pretty outgoing. And it's just hard. You can't be super crazy around him, so you have to be quieter. So that's one thing I do different when I'm pursuing relationships with other people. They're different.
I feel like going off of that, you have to put yourself in that person's shoes, because how would you feel if someone just came up to you and you weren't like kind of comfortable with them and was like, here's the gospel of Jesus Christ, read it or burn, and you're like, whoa, hello. So it's like you have, like Spencer was saying, you have to like cater to them, and you have to think about like, how would I feel if someone did this to me? So it's like you kind of do have to like think about it, and maybe that does change your attitude a little bit, but it's like you have to cater to them, because you can't just think about yourself. You can't just be like, well, this is who I am, accept me or not be my friend. So
Yeah, the reason I ask that is because yesterday during church, you guys obviously weren't there, but we were. Pastor Nick had mentioned a Bible verse, and I have it pulled up right here. It's 1 Corinthians 9:23, and it says, I've become all things to all people, that by all means I might save some. I do it all for the sake of the gospel, that I may share with them in its blessings.
That's so cool.
That's bussin'.
Now, when would you say... Now, obviously what Paul is talking about here is that he, in a way, changes his personality and attitude to cater to each group. I mean, earlier in the verse, if we read a little bit farther to the top, he says, to the Jews I became as a Jew in order to win the Jews. To those under the law I became as one under the law, though not being myself under the law, that I might win those under the law. To those outside the law I became as an outside the law, not being outside the law of God, but under the law of Christ. And so, in a way, he's changing his personality and attitude to when he's around these people in order to further understand them better and have them understand him better. When would you guys draw the line of changing yourselves to cater to a certain group? When would you say, well, maybe that's a little too far?
So, sorry. So I love the way. So I was talking with my dad last night, I think, and one of the way he put I was just asking him questions. I don't remember what it was about, but he mentioned like when you're making decisions and you're comparing it to the Bible as the standard of what makes your decision right and wrong. Because if you think about it, what really discerns your decisions? Morality doesn't come from laws or given. It's built into you. And it's given through the Bible. That's how a Christian should define their morals. Mm-hmm. And when you're comparing your life decisions and you're trying to make I was talking to him about marriage. When you're trying to make a decision, and if you don't feel comfortable with that decision, and you make that decision, and it's a bad decision, it's probably not going to line up with what the Bible says. But if you make a good decision, it's most likely going to line up with the Bible. So for me, I would say the line is when what I'm doing and what my decision that I'm making is, when it starts to stop lining up with what the Bible says and what the Bible defines as my morals and how my morals should be, that's when I draw a line. That's when I stop becoming a different person and veer back to who I really was.
Dang.
Any other inputs before I change the topic?
It's like when there's no remnants left of you, like how can you, like, you can't go that far to like to the point where you're not you anymore. And if you change like your beliefs to like cater to this person to try to save them, it's like you've gone way too far, because now you're like telling them different beliefs because you want to cater to them and like not like offend them.
Oh my gosh, I just got an idea. Okay, Nick was talking about yesterday about all the different like
Who's Nick?
Nicholas Salvia. He's our youth
Who's
pastor.
Nick? There we go. Thank you.
Okay.
There you go.
And so he was talking about all the different soils that like seeds can be planted in, and I was just thinking about like the rocky ground, and how
Can you explain the rocky ground?
The rocky ground is rocky ground. Anyways,
No, can you explain for people who don't know the parable of the
remember,
sower?
our audience isn't just Christian people.
Oh, that's facts.
Right. We
Okay.
Our audience is such a wide view of people.
Oh my
It could be
goodness, that's
random
so
people.
exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, the rocky ground is pretty much, well, it's the path, the rocky ground, the good soil,
The thorns.
Yeah.
and then
And
the thorns.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much a parable about how if you're rooted, if God plants a seed in yourself and how you're rooted in Him, I guess, how it can easily be withered away, or if, unlike the good soil, you can be,
It could grow
Firmly
or it could be
planted
choked
and you
out by
could
the
be-
thorns.
yeah, exactly. And
Now,
like-
the rocky ground.
okay, the rocky ground. So pretty much, if you're planted in the rocky ground, you'll easily sprout or whatever, but you won't be rooted in yourself, I guess. And I think that's what reminded me, like when Sydney was talking, I think it reminded me because if you're not rooted in yourself, you'll be so easily persuaded by the way that society is, like how it is today and
Yeah.
how the world seems like everything's okay or whatever. So I think if we're so easily persuaded by the way that like either our non-Christian friends think or like like our classmates think, I think the way that our attitudes would change and the way our personality would change would get too far. And that's where I draw the line, is to where like if I realize that I'm not even rooted in myself anymore, and now I'm now rooted in my other friends and how they would accept me, that's like not okay. Like I need to
Mhm.
like make sure I'm rooted in myself and make sure I'm rooted in God and like make sure I'm listening to Him and not anybody else.
I like that.
Now, I want to get to the betrayal part because
Yeah,
we
me
said
too.
it's
I
about
was
friendship
thinking
and betrayal.
Oh.
But right before the betrayal part, I would like you to ask one. I would like to ask you one last question about the last part. So now, let's say you have unchurched friends or unchristian friends who you're hanging out with, and it comes to a point where you have a friend that is essentially just doing something that is completely against your beliefs, and you realize that and notice that. Would you say then at that moment, is it more important and more loving to correct them gently and to tell them, hey, maybe this isn't the best thing, but then that would in a way put your friendship in jeopardy and it could very much not go back to what it was before? Or would you just rather not tell them and just be better friends with them and have the company and have the enjoyment and the fun?
I feel like it's really hard to condemn someone for something they don't believe about.
Yeah, you can't.
Because
make
if someone's a
non-Christians believe
Christian,
Christian
if someone's a
morals.
non-Christian, you can't just be like, well, that's against my religion, so you can't do that.
Hmm.
So I think you can't really condemn them. But if it's something that's like physically or mentally or emotionally or something that's hurting themselves, then yes, please do like go tell them. Be like, hey, this is like something you shouldn't do. Like for example, like vaping, like that's a lot of people think it's bad, but some people think it's really cool. So if like my friend was vaping, I'm not going to be like, well, it's against my religion, but it's not their religion. So, but no, that's like harming themselves. So I feel like you have to tell them like at that point that, hey, this is probably not best for you, even if it's in jeopardy of your friendship. Because I'd rather have a friend who is safe and like okay and safe, everyone.
My name's
Anyways, no, I'd rather have a friend who's like safe and like not like harming themselves, even if they don't want to be my friend because of it, than have a friend who's like is harming themselves through like a decision they're making, and like them like being my friend because I didn't tell them it was wrong.
I would push back a little bit on what you're saying, in a part where you said you can't condemn someone of doing something that is to your religion,
I mean,
against your religion, right?
yeah.
That's what you said. But then as a Christian believer and as a believer, wouldn't you say that Christianity, the laws of Christianity are universal, and therefore anyone doing anything against it would then
It's like
be harming themselves and the relationship with God
Can I feel
in
that?
turn?
What?
Go for it. Either of you.
Do you want it? I can.
Let her say real quick.
Okay,
Can
go.
I go? Thank you. So I feel like what I was kind of saying is you should push Christianity for them, and you need to, but it's like you can't like
You can't hold them to the same
you
standard.
can't hold them to the same standard of your Christian friends, because it's like it's not their religion, but you
Mhm.
also should like hold them a little bit accountable and like tell them like, hey, like maybe this is what I believe, like maybe you want to hear me out, like this is like not the best idea, because you should tell them.
Spencer?
Yeah. Again, so like I said earlier, you can't hold non-Christians to Christian morals. It just doesn't line up to them. If you're trying to, not necessarily convert, but if you're trying to put a pebble in somebody's shoe, you can't say, well, this is wrong because the Bible says it's wrong. So I don't care about the Bible. What is that going to do to me, right? You have to. That's why I love this podcast and the theme of it. You have to tell them why you believe what you believe. I don't just believe the Bible, what the Bible says because it's in the Bible, right? The Bible says the Bible's true, so the Bible's true. You can't say that. It's circular reasoning. It doesn't make sense. You have to know why the Bible is true, why that's in the Bible, why that's morally incorrect. That's what I love about so many different topics. You don't even have to use the Bible to help
to say
push
that
somebody
it's
to the
true.
Bible, to say that it's true, right?
Absolutely.
You can use evidence, reason, and logic, and you can put somebody's beliefs up just with those three things. And the Bible lines up with all three of those things. The Bible follows evidence, logic, and reason. It's not an illogical 100%. Book. It makes sense. So
I love that because that's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah.
I love that. Now let's get into the betrayal part of this. Now we've been talking about the Bible for quite a while.
I love that.
And in the Bible, there's also a betrayal.
A big betrayal.
It's a huge betrayal. But before we get into that,
Big betrayal.
which one of you would like to tell us a story of friendship betrayal?
Yeah, go for it.
We both have like lots, so
Okay.
Pick
your poison.
one. Pick one.
A big one. Okay.
You guys can tell multiple. We have time.
Yeah, we have plenty of time, and the audience would love to.
So excited.
The audience are here for the tea, y'all. They're here for the tea.
Okay. Once upon a time. No, I'm just kidding. We were at summer camp, and I had this super close friend. I'm nervous. Okay. I had this super close friend, and I was like so excited for summer camp. Like I was so excited to get close to everyone. And then, so like I said, we were in a 4-person tent with 6 people. That was just like not like a no-brainer.
This is at the same summer camp?
Same summer camp. So me and Sydney were
I
like,
was probably there.
You were there.
You were there, actually.
We were
Both
both
of you
in
were.
the same
Playing
tent.
with cameras.
We were in the same tent.
Yeah, you were.
The camera boys.
Camera boys. Okay, anyways. So
Not in the same tent with them. In the same tent with each
Yeah,
other.
that's
Yeah,
not-
let's just clear that up.
So me and Sydney decided to go sleep in a different tent. And so as I was setting up this tent, I don't know what Sydney was doing. I think she was like playing cards or something. Maybe she was there. I don't remember.
I think it
Anyways,
was in a meeting because I was a junior counselor, so I was probably
So
in
was
a
I.
meeting. Oh, never mind.
Slacker.
So were we.
yeah, all of us
Wait.
were.
Just kidding. That was a lie.
I think you were playing cards.
I was probably playing cards.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Sounds like me.
So I was setting up this tent, and this girl came out and started screaming at me.
Now, is the girl a friend or someone?
She was a best friend.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah,
Ooh.
best friend.
How
Too
close
many
would you
questions
say
to
you
say.
guys
Let
were?
her-
Would you say you were as close as Sydney and yourself
I think
right
that's
now?
a good question.
Well, I
Never
think
mind.
she was a little more immature than me, so we weren't as close. But there was
so,
already like
So you base your closeness with people also based on their maturity.
yeah,
That's good.
because
I
like
love that. That's
some
based.
people are very immature.
Go for it. Go
I'm
on.
looking.
I just wanted to
Okay,
emphasize
anyways.
that.
So
I'm mature.
I was like trying to talk to her, and
Sometimes.
she was just like screaming at me. She's like, this was so stupid. Like this was supposed to be the best summer camp. Da da da. And I was just like, I was sitting there like quiet, and this one of our leaders at the time was sitting in her tent and watching the whole thing. So I was like, at least I have an eyewitness. So me and this girl did not talk for the rest of the camp. Okay. And
How long is camp?
it was like 5 days or
It
something.
was a week.
This happened on the first day, or like after our first like big beach day. So I went along with like the rest of the week, and it didn't have to turn in as a big thing as it did, but she like started talking behind my back and started like saying stuff to me about like super like dumb stuff that didn't have to be said, and started telling people like all about the stuff that's like not like wrong with me, but like some of the issues I've gone through as like being friends with us, and like just some like secrets, and like it was just so unnecessary that it's just like it was super like obvious that she's just like stabbed me in the back, like straight up. So I was like, okay, yeah, no. So we're we're like acquaintances now. She still talks bad about me to my sister. So
That's awkward.
that's a little iffy, I guess.
And you
but
guys would say you guys were best of friends?
yeah, she was like the one person that I could like go to for everything. Like I spent the night at her house,
Really?
And
Wow.
but then I realized how that friendship, it was more about how she wanted like her like it was more about it was more about how she wanted to feel and her like popularity almost than like how our friendship actually like was like a thing, I guess. And it was just crazy to think about how all of the stuff that we went through, it was all about how she just was like I'm sorry.
Spencer is fiddling with the camera.
He's
so
currently
everyone's
fixing our
laughing.
camera, guys, because he's a
Sorry.
camera boy. Anyways,
We love you, Spencer.
yeah, love you.
Thanks.
Anyways, so it was just crazy to think that like after everything we've been through, she can just stab me in the back so easily, because I was like dumbfounded. Like I was like that whole camp, like I was just like, this is crazy that this happened. Like, and everyone was like in awe about what happened, because we were like super close. So that was like one of the big things that like happened to me, that I was like, yeah, that was definitely like a backstab, I guess. And that was something that like I think personally it was something that God wanted to happen, because I think as my heart grew for the Lord, I think I definitely needed to take out some of those people that would have like be a roadblock, I guess. And Trooper.
The dog's
You
out.
guys might see Trooper in a second.
The dog's out.
Hi, Trooper. Trooper's
Well,
a dog.
some of the audience won't get to see anything
Oh,
because
man.
they're probably just listening.
Oh, facts.
Just kidding. He's
But-
cute. He's really cute, I promise.
Yeah, he's cute.
I mean the story. I've had
I honestly
similar
didn't.
stories.
Yeah, I didn't know that about you guys. I think I know who
Yeah.
it is too.
I know who it is.
We
You-
all
you
know.
Pretty sure
definitely-
everyone will
know
We've
who
talked
it is.
about it.
Yeah, no, but that shocks me. I didn't know you guys were like
That
best
close.
friends.
Yeah.
No, we were like best friends.
No,
Wow.
like
Yeah.
they like
That's
stayed the night
crazy to
at
me.
like each other's house like every night. I was like, what?
Because
Yeah.
I mean I've
What's going
seen very similar stories as well.
But I kind of like found out something was going to happen at camp as soon as it started, because she was acting super weird. Like, and she was like,
So you would
Yeah.
say the problem kind of sprung from your friend putting themselves first
Oh.
over your own
I have
comfort.
something to add.
Oh,
I was going
go
into
for it.
high school this year, okay?
Mm.
And she was already getting jealous, I guess, that I was going into high school.
Mm.
Like, that isn't, like, she came up to me and she's like, I
She's
don't understand
younger?
why you're going in. Yes. She was like, I don't understand why you're going to high school. I was like, girl, like, I don't have control over that. Like,
Mm.
I'm older, bro.
so she, literally,
I
like,
was
you want me to,
born
like, I'm not going to
first.
pull back just
Go
for
back in
you.
time,
Literally. So she was
change
just
your
like,
birthday.
I think she was just upset that I was getting more mature than her, that I was
Mm.
like, and then I was like, making new friends, because I was like starting to make friends with Sydney and like
Mm.
starting to get closer to like you two, and she was just
Mhm.
getting so jealous over that, and I was like, jealousy should not be a thing.
I
Like,
see. So yeah, she was putting herself first, and instead of prioritizing your friendship, I guess.
Mhm.
Is that true? Would you say that in a friendship both of you would have, or in any relationship both people would need to compromise their own self at times to maintain that relationship?
Yeah.
And I
Friendship
mean,
is a two-way street.
it's
Friendship
it's
is
true.
a two-way street. That's
It's
Is that
it's
what
true,
it's-
100%. I mean,
Well-
the Bible says, Jesus says, in fact,
I think
there
so.
is no greater
Disney
no
movie.
no greater love than for one to die for his brothers. Now, dying to yourself
Dang.
or dying you don't have to physically die for your friends. You
Come
can
and die, baby.
That's pretty cool though.
putting yourself second could be a way of you sacrificing.
Laying your life down.
Laying your life down to love, to show your love to your friends and siblings and whoever. So you would say that you weren't seeing that type of love from your friend.
No, I feel like I was giving more than I was getting back, I guess.
Would you say that was a consistent thing from the beginning of the relationship?
At the beginning, I think she wanted to be my friend so bad that she was like trying to do anything she could to become one of my close friends. And then eventually, like, as soon as I like got super close to her and I started telling her a bunch of stuff, she like kind of pulled back, but she still wanted to like be my friend, I guess. So she stopped no, she still like, I don't know how to explain it. She like, I would have to do a lot more than she would like reciprocate it, but
I
like
see.
only half as much, I guess.
Yeah. So you're saying that she, in the beginning, when she wanted your friendship and the status of being friends with you, I guess in a way, she would put more things down to achieve that. But the moment you guys were kind of on equal ground, she then put herself first.
Yeah.
Cool. And that is a warning for all audience. It is a
Yeah.
very true thing.
You want to be
You
friends
have to
with me,
get
you
stuff
can't.
back in a
You need to
friendship.
pick your friends very well from the beginning. And Spencer is actually
Spencer's
really
so good at picking friends.
at picking friends.
No,
We're
like,
just talking
He's
about
actually
that.
like God at it. I'm
Would
not
you
gonna
would
lie to
you use
How many
would
betrayals
you
have
talk
you
about
had?
that a
I've
little bit?
go.
never really
Goated.
had a big betrayal in a friendship. I mean, I just had
Dude.
like
You're missing out.
no, I've just had like a friends
Yeah,
like
that's like a milestone.
I've had friends that aren't. I I mean, I know them. Like, they're say hi friends, and then they just
Say
stop
hi,
saying hi,
friends.
bro. And I'm like,
Mm.
all right.
Do you
that's
have
why you're
friends
that big of friends.
Do you have friends that have done similar things to others? And how do you avoid that happening with you?
I mean, you can avoid that just in general by just constantly pursuing relationships with people. So when you get in a friendship, if you're always striving to maintain that relationship and not like a chore, but just I make it sound like a chore.
I was gonna be like, stop moving the mic.
But I mean, if you're constantly working towards that relationship to try to make it a better relationship, then that person will see your interest in it. And I think it's a human like instinct to be social. Humans are social creatures, right? We're designed to have partners. We weren't designed alone. Like, even God saw when he created Adam that he needed a partner. He needed somebody to hang out with, right? So we're social creatures by design. So we need friends. So humans look at other humans and think, I would like to socialize with that person, right? So if you're constantly trying to socialize with somebody, they'll try to socialize with you, and you guys will have a push-pull type relationship, right? Where somebody's giving something, somebody's getting something, right? And you'll maintain that friendship and maintain that relationship this whole time. That's something I try to do, just constantly pursue. You can't, like, I mean, everything's so social media now. I don't do that much, but you can't leave them on red or whatever. I don't know. Whatever, you know what I mean.
Gosh.
But like, you can't, like, in real life though, you can't like just stop talking to this person, because then that puts speculations into their head, and then they think, oh wait, maybe I did something, and then they'll like doubt their own ability to maintain a relationship too, and then that could be the end of the friendship. So just trying to constantly strive towards a better relationship is a big part of it, I think. And just picking the right friends. If you see somebody who's naturally trying to is naturally going to, I guess, want to be, it's not the right word, want to try to leave you and just be like a one-time friend, like we're friends for the next 2 months and then we're not friends, then it's probably not the best person to choose for a friend. I mean, there's plenty of people in this world. Like, you're bound to meet somebody that's similar enough to you to become a friend with, right? So, yeah.
I feel like friendships and relationships are so difficult sometimes, because a lot of people nowadays have anxiety. So when you like do like something like a little minor thing, like you like don't talk to them for like a day or something, people will overthink it so much. Like, I do it so much. Like, I'll overthink it. Like, I remember one time when Gianna actually didn't talk to me like for one day because we were like super busy, and I was like, oh shoot, what did I do?
That's it, yo.
We're like,
I
was like, oh shoot, like, man, I messed up. And then we started talking again. I was like, bro, what's happening?
Yeah, wasn't this like a week ago?
This was like a week ago.
that was so
yeah,
silly.
and
I
that
was
was
like,
when we were trying to get you two to be on the podcast, and I was like, wait, never mind. They're not friends anymore.
No, okay. Actually, me and Sydney spent 2 weeks together.
Yeah,
And-
wasn't there a hiccup between you two?
Okay, we spent 2 weeks together.
Never sick of each
Okay,
other.
low-key 3. I'm not going to lie to you. And we just needed that, like, mental break. Because I'm telling you,
Yeah, I hate
like, if
it.
you spend 2 weeks with someone... if you spend 2 weeks with someone, you definitely... So, yeah, we didn't talk for, like,
And
a
it
day.
was like overnight. Like, it was like
It was
3
overnight. Like,
weeks,
we
like-
spent day and night together.
So it's
Like,
like
in between, we went to camp.
and
And in between, I like, literally slept at their house.
yeah.
So, like, I was with her every day. So, I think we both needed just, like, that mental break. But it was kind of funny because her mom texted me and was like, are you and Sydney okay? And I was like, yeah, we're fine.
Like,
So-
I remember you literally asked me, you're like, are me and Sydney still friends?
I kept asking people that
rude.
too. I was like, is everything?
You were like, I'm not sure. And I was like,
bro,
what do you
there was,
mean?
we're
like-
not going to have a podcast.
There was like weeks where Spencer and I would not see each other at all, and then we see each other one more time at like youth group, and we're like just as we left last time.
I don't see that. That doesn't happen that much in, I guess it's, I'm not trying
Dude's
to say that, but
relationship.
in
Yeah,
male
'cause you're
relationship.
boys.
Dudes are like
Yeah.
so like.
Would you? Well,
Dudes are
chill.
whack.
from
No,
a
like-
girl's perspective, what would you guys say is different between guys' friendships and girls' friendships?
Not in like a mean way, but girls are a little high maintenance.
We're so
sometimes.
dramatic.
We're like, it's like sometimes you just want to hang out with guys because they just the drama there is none. Like, there is no
and
drama.
we're so
We
silly.
don't know, dudes.
You just like talk to them.
the drama's just different, I'd say.
Yeah, like it's like you like girls, like you do like the smallest thing and it becomes into the biggest
Like,
problem.
I ate a pepperoni and I almost threw up. Like that's so dramatic. Like
That
still.
was me. I had her eat it.
Oh yeah, we had lunch.
Okay.
I did not eat
We
a
were
pepperoni.
at
I
a
did not.
certain burger
Oh,
place.
actually, I lied.
We went to
Off
In-N-Out.
topic.
I did not
Off
throw
Do
up.
not
topic.
endorse.
I
In-N-Out.
felt like I was gonna throw up. I ran into the bathroom and I was like,
Yeah,
"Ugh."
I thought you were
Fellowship.
gonna go get water or something.
No, I like straight up almost threw up. And then I realized someone was in the bathroom and I was like, well.
This
Okay,
is why I
wait.
didn't eat it.
Well,
Stop. I want to ask the
back-
questions because
go.
I'm the only one who doesn't have the betrayals or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
Go
He's
for
just
it.
goaded
Sorry.
like that.
He's just
all right.
goated,
Anyway,
dude.
Safe. I want to hear some stories from you. I feel like we
Mm.
gotten stories from Gianna. I want to hear some from Safe, and then we'll work our way down to Sydney. Give me
Well,
one story, Safe.
I have
Give me the big.
quite-
Give me the
quite
most
juicy.
monumental
beef.
story. It's VBS. Monumental was a VBS.
was last year.
We all work at VBS,
Oh.
so this is why we're
Both
hanging out.
both Gianna and Sydney have their VBS shirts on. Spencer and I had them on earlier.
Look how spiffy we are now, boys.
we look
We're
great.
spiffy in our
If you're
VBS
listening,
shirts.
go to YouTube and check us out.
We got button-up shirts on for this one.
I look
Uh,
spiffy right now too.
But anyways, I have a couple of very, very juicy stories, but I'll leave the other one for a little bit later.
Go for it.
But I'll talk about one that I saw as an outsider, so no one would say that I'm biased or that I'm saying anything because I was put in the situation. I remember I had two friends, both very good people, both go to church consistently. I'm pretty close with both. I'm closer with one than the other, but essentially what happened, they both started liking the same girl. And you know,
This is why we don't
dude,
like
girls
people.
are always the problem. Sorry,
It's
ladies.
boys. It's
But-
boys.
But
Don't
for
tell
for
me.
guys at least, and most guy relationships end with girls. I mean, most of the stories I have with like betrayals are girls.
That's one thing
It's
I noticed too. I was like, a lot of your relationship like hiccups. It's just
are over girls.
dude.
It's over girls.
I
It's
warned you
true.
guys. I freaking warned you guys. I literally said
But
that.
those two guys like the
Spencer's
same
always
girl, and one of them was just off of a very fresh breakup, and it was a very long relationship for him. Now, when they both started liking the girl,
Is it school or church?
church.
What?
Yeah,
All right, go for it.
you missed that chapter.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Anyways, so yeah, they both like the same girl, and then one of them, what would be the guy's name would be Patricia.
And the girl's name will be Dan.
Well,
Yes.
give me a guy's name. Give me a guy's name. Dan.
Dan and Bob.
Ben.
Eduardo.
Dan and Ben. Okay, I'll take.
Dang it.
I'll take Dan and Ben. So
Dan or
let's.
Dan?
What?
Dan or
Patricia.
Dan?
I'm
Dan.
telling you, Patricia.
Like Daniel.
All right, go for it.
So Ben, let's say Ben told Dan that he likes the girl, and he would call him like every day and be like, "Yeah, I really like this girl. I feel this, and this, and this."
Every day?
Not every day.
Every
I don't know
day?
how frequently,
It's every
but
day.
all I know is that
Oh, yeah, this
Ben
third
would
person,
tell
I don't know,
Dan
you saw this from
that-
outside.
yeah, I'm an
Witness.
outsider. He'd be like, "Yeah, I like this girl," or whatever. I really don't know what to do. And then the other guy would tell him, "Yeah, try this, try that." Meanwhile, the other girl, the other guy, Dan, also liked the girl and was actively making moves where he would block Ben from interacting with the girl by having like group hangouts, but not inviting Ben.
That's so
And during the group
messed.
hangouts, he would tell the group, "Hey, Ben actually has this and that, and he can't come."
Oh, I think I know this.
You-
I know
Yeah,
this
I
story
know that. I
too.
remember this. I was
And
too
so-
young for
I
this
heard it
group.
from
Huh?
you. Story.
I was the youngest boy.
Yeah, you were, but
You invited to these group hangouts?
Yeah.
I
Wee
was,
little
but I was just
freshie.
young and never went.
yeah, and so Ben wouldn't show up, and then Dan would get really close to the girl, and slowly, very
Oh my
slowly,
gosh.
one time Ben had a problem with the car, and so Ben was like, "Hey, I can't come right now, but I'll go. We were going to the movies, but I'll be able to go to the movies later. Just tell me when you guys go." He said that to Dan on the phone. What Dan translated to us was, "Hey, Ben's got a car problem and he can't come at all." Now, we go to
I
the
lost track of
theater,
who's who.
and Dan sits next to the girl. Little do you know, like a week later, Dan has the girl.
Oh, he got her.
They're dating.
and they're dating, and then
Oh.
They're friends now, right? Kind of.
I don't know.
I think so.
But-
Do I know him really well? Yeah. Yeah. I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But Ben felt very betrayed, and as he should. Now at the same time, there was another relation or situationship that happened, and so I had Ben and another friend both just like completely heartbroken, and it was just like they felt very betrayed, and they didn't know what to do, because essentially they put their trust in someone, and again, as most betrayals happen and come, one person in the relationship, one friend, put themselves and their own comfort and their own wants before their friend. And so Dan chose the relationship, chose to pursue that girl over pursuing the friendship and the relationship that he had with his other friend over 18 years at that point. They've known each other since they were babies. And
Yeah.
so
It's
Crazy.
clicking. It's clicking.
Yeah, it's clicking.
they've known each other since they were babies, and so
I have a question.
Yeah.
How long did this like Dan and Ben thing like happen? Like how long did the hangouts happen?
2 months.
Yeah.
It happened over the about 2 months. I'd say there was a month. I'd say 3 months, but the first month was just the friend group coming together to help Dan get over the girl, the other girl, and then the second 2 months were essentially Dan starting to pursue the girl as well as Ben, and them both kind of battling out, even though Ben didn't know there was a battle in the first place.
That's why you gotta call dibs, bro.
Well, that's what he did. That's
Call
the
him
betrayal part.
first.
He essentially
him
called
first.
dibs, and then
If you
Dan
don't
was
say
like,
dibs, you don't get dibs.
Dibs.
You see her? Dibs.
I call dibs.
I called him.
but yeah, and then there's
that on
multiple
the podcast.
stories about,
Sorry.
you
I
know,
don't want to see that.
We're being called dibs on each other's best friends. Calm down.
okay,
Okay, better be.
yo, let's reel it back in.
Anyway,
But yeah,
that's a good story. It's interesting to see how easily relationships will be thrown aside just to pursue another relationship for a girl, dude.
Dating
Straight
is
up a girl.
whack.
yeah, and guess what? The relationship between Dan and the girl didn't last at all.
Yep.
Well, that's like a week or so.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't last at all. But what happened is the friend group from that point on, not just
Yeah,
Dan
the
and
friend
Ben,
group fell apart.
had fell apart
Broken.
from each other. The entire 5 people or 6 people group, I don't remember how many there was,
There was like
I feel like dating people
6 of
always
us,
like
yeah.
ruin
Yeah.
some friendships.
and they all just
Gotcha.
fell apart. And now
Yeah.
each of them do their own thing. Now there's like 3 that are back close together. But yeah, mostly it just really fell apart. And
well, there was like 7, dude.
Yeah.
There's
Birth to friendship.
there's a lot of people. It was like a solid little group, and then
And it was
Hashtag
actually really
excluded.
interesting seeing how one of
What do you say?
what?
High five me. Okay, fine. Just leave me hanging.
What?
Okay, go. You can talk.
Bruh.
She won't high five me.
Anyways, it was really interesting seeing how one of them, Dan, his relationship with God was dependent on if he has a girlfriend or not. When he lost his girlfriend, he started showing up to church, getting closer to God, reading the Bible. We even set up our own Thursday night study with the group, and we would go there. But guess what? The moment he brought outsider friends who were non-Christians, the Thursday hangouts that were about reading the Bible and understanding it further to get closer as a friend group and keep each other accountable, the Bible part was taken completely out. And slowly it was just like, oh, Thursday we're hanging out and this and that. And Thursday turned from getting closer to God to getting closer to that girl. And that girl replaced the role that God was playing in those hangouts. And so, again, from getting really close to God, Dan was taken back away to, hey, God, I don't need you anymore because I have a girlfriend that can fill this gap or this spot in my heart. And yeah, it was just really interesting. Any commentary from both of you? Have you guys ever seen such a thing? Would you?
Yes.
Go for it.
Absolutely. It's like dating.
Spencer.
Dating people, it always ruins some type of friendship.
Mm.
Whether it's like because 2 people like each other, because 2 people like the same person, and then they become like aggressive towards each other, and they're like, I want the girl or I want the guy.
Whoa.
Or it's because you do start dating someone and then you ignore all of your other relationships, and even sometimes it can replace your relationship with God, like you were saying. And it's so hard to find those like good like situations where dating does help, or your relationship with God, or those friendships, because it's like it's so hard to date people. Like, don't do it. Don't like people. Just kidding. Just
Don't.
kidding.
Hate
That's not my
everyone.
advice.
No, that's
Whoa,
not. That's
don't
not
hate
biblical.
everyone.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah, and I've like had many experiences where I've liked the same guy as one of my good girlfriends, and it got. Oh my gosh, sorry. My good friend that was a girl, I call him girlfriend. I call him girlfriends. I'm sorry. But no. But it's like it gets so it's like the animal kingdom. It gets competitive, bro. And I especially like, cuz when those situations happened to me, I was so shy, so I couldn't talk to the guy. So I was like, and she was like, yeah, hey, and I was like, oh, what's going on? And then you would get super jealous of like your friend or whatnot, and just dating is so
It's okay,
scary.
Spencer. You can come back. We're just gonna lose the angle of Gianna.
What the heck,
Bye,
man?
Gianna.
Gianna's
Okay.
angle keeps overheating because it's
It's
sitting
in the sun.
It's directly in the sun.
Well, now that we've shared a couple of like betrayal things.
Sydney hasn't gone yet.
Oh,
Yeah, Sydney hasn't gone.
sorry.
Sydney, go. Give
Do
us
I
a story.
have-
Sydney's got some
Um,
special ones.
Do I have your privilege or
Permission?
yeah, permission?
No, you don't have my
From
permission.
me.
Yes. Because this story
Spencer,
does
you
involve
know
Spencer.
exactly
Oh, yeah. Just
look
oh,
like a
I
terrible
know the
person.
story already.
If you say no,
Go
that's
for
totally
it.
fine.
Girls just wanna.
Spencer,
Go for
just
it.
go for it.
Is
Go
it
for
okay?
Go for it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay. So,
Dumb young kids. Yeah, me
so
too.
this story does involve Spencer. So I had this girl best friend. We're gonna call her Patricia because no one let me use that name last time. So Patricia's back.
Patricia.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
She's back. I'm leaving.
Whoa.
I don't like Patricia either.
Grish. We
I used to.
Anyways,
We all
Patricia.
know.
Patricia was my bestie. We got so close. We got so close, and I was like, like we FaceTimed every night. Like it was so like, oh, we were so close. And then I started inviting her over to my house, and she met Spencer. Spencer is a handsome
Young lad.
young lad.
A young stud, actually.
As he would like to say, he's a chick magnet.
That's right. That's right.
He's the
So
he's got riz.
Spencer comes into the picture. Well, she went to our church, so she kind of already knew Spencer, but at the same time, it was like coming over to my house and like getting to know Spencer better was like it was like kind of like an, I don't know how to put it, but then I was on FaceTime with her one night, and I was like we're talking, I don't remember what we're talking about, probably like clothes or something stupid like that. And she's like, I need to tell you something. I was like, okay, like spill. And she was like, oh, like I like your brother. Plot twist. Okay.
Bum, bum,
Here's the problem. I was
bum.
completely fine with it. I was like, yeah, sure, like that's fine, like cuz
I like my brother too. Like no problem.
no, like
Go for it.
no, I'm like fine with my friends dating Spencer. It's just you'll see in the story. So
Wait till we end.
just wait. It gets
Plot
good.
twist.
Anyways, so I was like, yeah, like that's cool. Like we're chilling. She's like, we're still friends. I'm like, yeah, that's like totally fine.
We're still friends. That's funny.
Awkward. Yeah. So then she starts coming over to my house, and they start getting closer. And I was like, I was talking to Spencer one night. I think I was doing the dishes, and I was like, hey, Spencer, I think like summer like.
We'll bleep it. We'll bleep it. We'll bleep it. We'll bleep it.
Patricia. Sorry, that was a force of
I'll sit there
habit.
and I'll go,
I did not say a bad word. I said her name, and I can't do that. I'm so sorry.
without her permission.
Without her permission. And
She would
anyways,
not give permission.
yikes! She would not have my
And that's how Sydney got fired.
vetoed. Anyways,
That's why
So-
Sydney's never on the podcast anymore. If you
bye
know
guys.
that.
Just kidding. Sorry,
You're
guys.
welcome to come back. Maybe depends on.
Maybe
how
depends
on
on
my
depends on the
behavior.
viewers.
Yeah, depends on.
They're
what
like,
they
get
say.
her out of here. Anyways,
Comment
so
section.
I was
Patricia
talking to Spencer.
might-
I was
might
like, I
veto
think
you.
Patricia likes you. Like, and then Spencer was like, well, I think I like her too. awkward. I was sitting there in the kitchen doing the dishes, like, what is going on? And then Spencer and Patricia start dating. Yikes. Actually, it wasn't a big yikes because I didn't really care. Like, I was fine with it.
She did.
And then
She cared.
I almost said her name again. Patricia. I'm so bad at this, guys. Patricia came over again. And she...
You get 2 tries. If you fail on both, you're fired.
I'm fired. Kicked out. No, she came over again, and Spencer had invited a group of friends over who went to our church. So they kind of...
Were you there?
No, it was...
Racist.
It was a girl, a boy. Actually, no, you were there. No, you were there, Save.
No.
Yes, you were.
I
Why?
think
was
Ben
there.
was...
Actually, I
yeah,
think you
Ben
came
was there
late.
too.
Ben, what? No.
Oh, Ben. Ben was there.
It was the old
What?
group.
It was the
literally
old-
it was
it was
literally
the
the group
old
before
group.
Ben and
Yeah, okay.
We
so
were
it was
invited
the
to
old-
what?
Ben and
Connected.
they came over here and we like swam.
Yeah,
and
you
stuff.
I
swam.
remember now. Yeah.
And then we played a card game.
Yeah, I
I
remember,
remember that.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we're swimming in the pool and whatnot, and I'm like hanging out with her, and then all of a sudden she completely ignores me, doesn't say a single word to me, and starts hanging out with the core friends or whatever they call themselves. Sorry,
core
that was
memories,
me.
no.
The
Back
core
row
friend
boys.
group. I don't remember what they called
Yeah,
themselves.
the
Back row
Backstreet
boys.
Boys.
the Titanic swim team.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Okay, so they
It
called
was the
themselves
Titanic swim team.
So she started hanging out with them, and I tried talking to her, and she would ignore me. I was like, "You want a snack?" I'm talking to this other girl. Okay, it's my bad. And I really felt left out. So my mom, being a homie, took her home, said I had swim practice. I did not have swim practice that day. Awkward. But
Oopsie.
she took her home, and I got to hang out by myself, and I later hang out with the core friend group and played some cards because I was a little sad.
Yeah, you were swimming with the Titanic swim team.
I was.
That's not good people to be swimming with, bro.
Bro. Anyways, so, and then I was like, I feel like I should talk to her about this because, like, that's, like, kind of, like, not cool of her. And she wasn't even hanging out with Spencer. She was, like, hanging out with Spencer's friends, and I was like,
Oh, Patricia.
hello. Oh,
Patricia.
Patricia. So, I talked to her. I called her on the phone because I was talking to my mom about it. I was like, is this like something I should talk to her about? And she's like, yeah, definitely. So we pull over on the side of the road because we were actually talking in the car. I was talking in the car with my mom. So she pulls over on the side of the road, and I call her, and I'm like, hey, Patricia, like, why did I name her Patricia? Anyways, I was like, hey, Patricia, like, this isn't cool. Like, I kind of, like, felt really hurt by it. Like, can we, like, talk about it? And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't even realize, like, what I was doing. And I was like,
She realized. Sorry.
Cap.
I was like, oh, okay, like, cool. I was a very trusting person. I did not see any red flags. Like, I was like when I started relationships, I was like, psh, red flags? What are you talking about? They're all green. Yeah, so
That's why you
Anyways.
watch Formula 1.
that's this relationship scarred me for that reason. Anyways, so
Dang.
I'm a
anyways,
terrible person.
what?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh, I was like, wait, what?
I'm a
Guys,
great
if you're about
person.
to cry, please take
I'm
a
wonderful person.
take a step.
Take
take a
Step away if you're
Step
about to
away
start
and cry,
crying.
please.
This is
Yeah, but
supposed
Johnny,
to
you
be
can't cry. 'cause
fun.
You don't have camera on you yet.
Yeah.
Maybe in a
We
little
can't
bit.
we can't
the
milk
juice
the
for the
clips.
camera.
I'm letting the camera cool off.
Cry
Maybe in a
into the
little
camera.
bit.
Cry into
You
the
could
camera.
We
cry,
could- yeah.
and then we'll have an angle.
Okay, so
Or if you want to cry, switch seats with one of us, and then you.
yeah, just be like, no, because there's like a good camera right here, so come over here. Just sit like.
Okay, now
on-
go back to
Yeah.
the joke's dead. That's enough.
I'm sorry, guys. I'll just leave.
kidding. Just
I'm not welcome back on the podcast.
go
again.
back to your story.
So I called her, whatever, and then we're like friends again, right? Because like I was like cool with it, and then
Well.
here's how Spencer gets into this. So she's like.
I'm just that good looking.
Spencer put on the
So on
glasses.
the phone
Part.
call, we like set up a date to
Stop
hang
good
out because
looking.
like that's what you do. Like you make up and you're like, oh, let's hang out again. I was like,
Mm.
okay, sure. So, she comes over to my house and we start watching this movie. Okay, I'm sitting on the couch watching the movie, chilling, and then I get up to get a snack, and somehow these two manage to get into the pool. They're swimming in the pool together. I don't know what they're doing. They're just swimming. They're just chilling.
Spencer.
I was
okay.
being a bad boy.
Ah!
I'm kidding. I was
No.
not being a bad boy. I was behaving.
No, they were behaving. No, I was watching the movie, and then I was like sitting alone on my couch
Why?
with my friend who was supposed to be hanging out with me, who was all of a sudden in the pool with my brother, and I was like, what is going on here? Like, so I called her again. I was like, y'all, this hurt my feelings. Like, can we talk about this? Oh yeah, sure.
You called her after she left?
like, it was like a couple days later because I talked to my mom about it again, and I was like, okay, this is like getting a little weird. And then it happened a couple other times, and I started talking to like my youth pastor Nick about it, and I was like, and actually no, I started talking to Alex mainly, which is our other
Alex
youth
is my
pastor.
I
best
love
friend.
Alex. He's our junior
Alex,
high youth
I love
pastor.
Yeah,
you.
he's our
Well,
junior high
Alex
youth
is also
pastor.
junior high
Alex
pastor, I
Trejo.
guess.
We love Alex. And I was like, hey, like, is this like, because I was in junior high at this point, so I was like talking to Alex about it because he was my youth pastor.
He wasn't.
Not yet.
Because
Anyway.
Not
we were kind of like separate.
Nope.
We weren't like separate.
That's a
separate,
lie.
But like,
That's a false gospel.
no.
Oh my goodness.
No, it's not because.
Okay, get on with the story.
Go back. So
Hurry
you
up before I
talked to
revoke your
Alex.
privileges, because this is taking like 20
I'm
minutes.
sorry, guys. Anyways, and then
I'm
I
lying.
start talking to her again. And she's like, I have something to tell you. And I was like, okay, like, spill the tea. Like, we're besties. Like, tell me what. Patricia's moving to Texas.
Woo!
So I get super upset because this is my
Whoops.
bestest of best friends.
Mm.
And she's moving away. And I'm like, how am I supposed to, like, do this? Like, what's going on? And the situation's, like, getting worse with Spencer and Patricia hanging out and whatnot. And it was, like, kind of bad. And then we went to summer camp. This was not the same summer camp as we're talking to about.
Ooh.
Dude, imagine
with Gianna.
Patricia listens to this podcast.
I'm sorry, Patricia, but
That would be so funny, dude. I'm
Hey.
sorry, that just makes me laugh.
Oh my goodness.
She probably will listen to this podcast.
She'll regret everything,
Yikes.
dude.
Hey, but at least Patricia will know how
Patricia.
you felt.
you've called me mean
Ben,
names.
Dan, and Patricia,
Whoa,
all three
whoa,
are gonna
don't
be.
talk to
Please.
Patricia.
Dan,
Don't.
Talk to
What's
us,
your
not
name?
Patricia. This
Sorry.
podcast is not about us
Patricia.
talking to the
And the other
audience
one.
yet. The
Night.
audience isn't here.
Patricia. Okay, new
Good.
character. Give
But-
me a name. Boy's name. We need a boy's name.
Huh?
We have a new character. Boy's name.
It's Ben.
No, it's not Ben.
It's not Ben.
It's a different one.
It's Ben. Oh.
No.
A few moments later.
And then Thomas comes into the story. I don't know why. I don't know what Spencer did. I think he was talking to me too much, and she got a little upset about it.
Spencer was talking to you.
Yeah.
Like
She
your own
got
brother
up-
was talking to you.
She,
Yeah.
she got
So she
upset
got a
that your
little
brother's
upset a
talking to
little
you.
bit.
That doesn't
And
make any sense.
So she started hanging out with Thomas.
I didn't
And
like
then she
that
started
either.
confronting Thomas about
course
the
you
whole
didn't.
situation.
Yeah, Thomas was like a therapist, bro. Who's
Thomas was
And then
getting all the
Thomas
girls.
started like
Patricia
hugging.
and Thomas started hugging.
Thomas
That's
and
what I was
Thomas
saying,
and
bro.
Patricia-
I did not
That's
like
when I was there.
I did not like
I
I
was
didn't like
there.
that either.
I was like,
Thomas was just
Patricia.
annoying.
sketch, bro.
That's
I was
when
like,
I was
Patricia,
there.
what? You
telling
are
you, dude,
dating my brother.
Thomas.
That is unacceptable. Like,
That's what I'm saying, bro.
like, bro, what is going on? So that like
Monogamy,
upset
bro.
me.
Even I was confused. Like I
Like-
was in
Yeah,
that
so
summer
was
camp,
I.
but it happened like the week after at like the like kickoff or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was
I wanna
confused.
cut
It was
off
like
right there.
Gianna's like first or like month or whatnot, and like she's just hearing about all the drama.
Wait,
From someone.
you
And I was-
weren't
That was
at
your
that
first-
summer camp, or you were?
I
No,
wasn't
she
at
didn't go
this.
to
I
summer
came the
camp.
Tuesday after.
Okay, so the other summer camp
That was
is
your
the one
first
that
day,
we're
was the
talking
Tuesday
about.
after the summer camp?
Yeah.
My phone. My
Silence your
bad. It's
phone.
connected to the computer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Wow.
I'm gonna have
You're a
to
terrible
keep going,
person.
or else
Keep going, yeah.
we're gonna
Keep-
run out of time.
Thomas.
Okay, so I got super upset because I was like, you're like failing with our friendship, and you're like failing with your relationship with my brother because you're hugging other guys. Like that's not okay. So
She wouldn't even tell me what. I would ask her. I would try to be vocal about it too. I was like, "Hey, what's up with you and Thomas?" And she's like, I'm like,
Patricia-
"Sorry, bro. You do you,
I
man."
don't want to talk about it. So
Literally.
so I was talking to my mom again about it. I was talking to Alex. I was like, what is going on? Like, what should I do about it? And at some point I called her and I was like, hey, listen, I want to talk to you about this. And we talked about it. And I was like, okay, well, I don't understand your point. And I understand that you feel this way, but I'll forgive you, but I don't think I want to be friends with you anymore.
Dang, bro. I broke up
Because-
with her at church too.
Did you actually?
Yes.
Shut up.
No,
Yeah.
because I was like,
Downstairs, behind the old counter. I was just saying. I was standing behind the counter. She was in front of it. I was like, "We need to talk." Yeah, I don't think I should be your girl or your boyfriend anymore.
I don't think I should be your girlfriend anymore.
Sir.
I
No.
just
Shut up.
started crying
When?
at church.
On a Sunday?
so I was like
Yeah,
upset.
probably, yeah.
So my mom made them like break up, but they didn't actually
Cap.
break up. Awkward. So they were kind of still dating, but they also weren't. Like it was like really confusing. And then they actually did end up breaking up. And I had a really good friend This is really awkward though because like the church started kind of like taking sides a bit on like, are you pro Patricia or are you like pro?
Yeah, that was wild.
That was
I was
true.
like,
I remember,
was so stupid.
I remember we're on different sides of the church too. Like we have two church doors.
no, okay. 'cause
And
we were,
like Team Patricia was like taking
it
care
was,
of her
like,
on this
fighting.
side.
Like we were like, I was
I
like so mad.
Yeah.
I was actually
And
so.
Ben was like the
Ben,
was
yeah.
like the freaking
Ben was
bridge. Like
back
he was
in
like
Yeah.
the singular piece of spaghetti that was
Well,
between
Dan-
the two sides, bro.
Oh yeah,
And
Ben.
I remember,
yeah.
okay,
Dan wasn't.
her
Dan,
last,
Dan wasn't there.
her last
Well,
day,
Dan was there.
Dan was there.
Her
Dan
last-
Dan was on Patricia's side.
her last day in California
I don't think so.
I
was
think so.
He was on my
Safe's
side, bro.
birthday party.
Dan was
Oh yeah, my birthday party. I remember that.
So we're all at Safe's birthday party.
She was there.
She left.
We're all at Safe's birthday
Who
party.
left?
Even
Yeah, you
Patricia.
left.
And we're literally beefing because I'm like not friends with her anymore. Spencer broke up with her, and she's sitting on Safe's couch while we're all playing a card game, and she's like, "I don't want to play," and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, Buddy was just crying. Like,
was
get
like,
over it, bro. I'm
okay,
not that
calm
good looking.
Cried after every worship session, and it really.
She wasn't crying
And
on
I,
her birthday
I
though.
was like, "Okay,"
Yeah, she
so I
was.
would like comfort her.
I promise you.
And
she
I was like,
crying.
Oh, earlier on, yeah.
No, she
Later
wasn't.
on,
Oh.
after you
then-
guys left, she wasn't.
I need another girl's name. Can I have another
She's
girl's
over it.
name?
She was just
She
putting
wanted
on
to
a
cry
show.
because you were there.
She was just putting on a show.
Can I have another?
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Sorry, go.
Can
Sydney.
I have another
I was
girl's
like, I
name?
know I'm
Yeah.
not that good looking.
Another girl. How
Who?
many girls do you need, bro?
Who?
A few moments later.
So
Probably
we
gotta
have
cut that whole section out because I
Angela.
screamed
Angela-
and the mic is probably like crying.
Angela
now.
was like, Angela. We're all hanging out at Safe's birthday party. We walked to Home Depot for some reason. We were playing like hide and seek. I remember. This.
Oh yeah, no. Home Depot's
No,
just
it
a
was
fun place
actually
to go.
so fun, but
Yeah, we
she
gotta
was
be
like
here
so.
six
Safe's birthday parties are the best, dude. His
She was
graduation
so
parties don't go.
She was like
He
so.
didn't go.
I know, that's
She
what
was
I
like
said.
so sad, and I was like, "You're just like bumming out the whole party. Like, calm
Yeah,
down."
Talking
bro.
about?
She was making
Patricia.
Safe's birthday party about her, bro. Like,
And I was like,
stop the-
Just
stop
say
the
happy
party.
birthday to Safe and leave the drama for tomorrow. Like, okay, calm
Leave the
down.
Egyptian boy alone.
I'm sorry. Okay, and then and then
It's gonna be a good podcast.
Angela, like that was her name, right? Angela. Angela starts talking to me. She's like, "You need to make up with Patricia. Like, you need to hug her." And I was like, "Bro, like I already like."
Hug her, bro.
Dude, Angela loves to put her own opinion on stuff.
Dude! Don't even get me started on Angela, bro.
Stop talking about Angela.
Angela, she's
She
sweet.
needs to
Angela's
just
chill.
like
She is
no,
And
she's
she's
not
super
sweet.
entitled.
It was the wrong. It was the wrong
Dude, the title
time.
doesn't beat the half, bro. She's like a OC wife.
It was just the wrong time.
That's probably bad. That's probably bad.
Bleep.
It was
Bleep.
just
No, because then it makes me sound like I was saying she's a.
She's a bleep.
Okay, stop.
okay. So like I
I
was
meant
like, it was
everything
just
I
the wrong
said.
time for me because she was trying to like force me into something that I tried to force myself into, and I couldn't do that. And Ben was just like
Ben's
it was.
such a chill guy.
Ben is such a chill guy,
What do you
but
think his name?
Well, because if we don't believe his name, the story will reveal.
then it was just it.
Even
I just
know
couldn't
if the
take
audio
it.
is still recording. Let me
Because-
check real quick.
A few moments later.
Sorry, wait.
That's what I-
Patricia kept like talking to Ben. Stop whispering. Okay. Patricia kept talking to like Ben and like talking like mad crap on me like to Ben. So I was like, this is
Also,
not
to
Angela,
okay.
bro.
clear-
Because
Tell me about it, right?
I was like
I don't
also
like
To
Angela.
clear up, Ben has been a friend of Sydney and Spencer for
Like-
Forever.
years and years.
Forever.
like,
Almost
really
as
close.
long as Ben and Dan had been friends.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I've known both of their families forever.
for
it was
for
like- it was
Patricia to
Ben
like
and Dan are both gonna be on the podcast too.
yeah. For
Man.
for
Sorry,
Patricia,
Ben. They should introduce themselves.
No Patricia. I'm Ben.
No
I'm
Patricia
Ben.
or
so
Angela.
yeah, for Patricia.
We'll
Yeah,
ask them-
Angela-
we'll
What's
ask
wrong
them
with
if we can tell
Angela?
those stories though. We have to ask them first later.
okay.
Just keep going.
So
This is the 35-minute story. Here we go.
sorry, y'all. No, but it was like so rough for me because half the church was on my side, half the church was on her
No,
side.
everybody was on my side.
And then
though.
she started saying like hateful comments to Spencer and stuff.
Did she?
Yes.
I remember one
Over
that your
Instagram.
guys' mom was
Good
talking
thing
about.
I didn't
Social
have a
media,
friggin-
no good. Don't use social media.
Okay, keep up.
Sorry, keep going.
Wrap it up in 5
It bas-
minutes.
And then she moved to Texas.
Okay, perfect.
Wow.
The
That
end.
that is a betrayal story. Let me tell you that, folks.
That took 31
Now,
minutes.
now, what is the betrayal
way.
part? Can you clear that up?
She.
The betrayal part was
Was?
basically that I got used by Patricia.
To become
To-
your brother's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
And-
Sorry. Okay, welcome back to the Safe and Spencer show. I had to cut quite a segment from
Yeah, we just
this because we're cutting the whole story out, guys.
no the last
No.
the last 20
we just
seconds
cut out
maybe.
the last little bit
A lot
because everyone
happened.
was just going crazy and we had to calm back down. So if it's a little jittery, that's what it was. Also, there will be some bleeps because we accidentally said
Bleep.
some people's names
That's my bad.
that we're not supposed to.
That's our bad.
We're not cursing. Trust us.
No,
If we were,
promise.
we would tell
Yeah,
you.
John only said 3
Uh,
curse words this entire
Only
time.
3.
It was a
No,
joke.
I'm kidding.
Gianna didn't curse.
I didn't. I just said someone's name.
I thought you said
3
one bad
times.
word once.
I
No.
have not.
She's
Okay.
she
I've never said
I
a bad
don't
word
want
in
to
my
keep
life.
cutting out of the show, guys.
No, this is part of the show. This can't be not part of the show. Anyway,
Um,
so that's all the
the
Betrayal.
betrayal stories
Now,
that we had.
I want to get to a very important question and a
Dude,
question
this has been going
that
for so
actually
long,
people would learn
podcast.
from, and I feel like that's where we would
Choose your
end the
friends
episode.
wisely.
Can you let me ask the question?
I love this show.
Okay, now we've talked about betrayal. Each of us have been betrayed, other than Spencer. He was
He's been
the
betrayed.
he was he's been betrayed. Yeah,
Patricia.
anyways.
Patricia does.
Patricia.
I cut connections with her, but
Yeah, but then she said stuff,
But betraying your
but
family,
after I cut connections,
you-
she was just butthurt that I'm so good
betraying
looking.
your sister is part of your family, and I'd say that
Oh, that's
Wh-
fair.
whoever crosses your sister in a bad way, I'd say is crossing you as well. And so, anyways, we've all shared our betrayal stories, and we'll share more in the next episodes. But
Maybe.
when
I'm
would
not
you
coming
say
back. Just kidding.
this is the most important part?
I'm joking.
Pay attention,
Yeah, this
audience. Feel free to answer this question
is-
too.
God's got something for you.
Exactly. When would you say it's the time for you to end a friendship because of a betrayal? When would you end a friendship or relationship with someone because of betrayal? And how would you do it? Because before you answer, there's a story in the Bible where Peter goes to Jesus. Do you know that story, Spencer?
Yes.
Yeah, Peter
I know.
goes to Jesus and he asks him what? What does he ask Jesus?
Well, I don't know the story.
How many times should you forgive a neighbor, brother, friend? I don't remember what.
Is
word
that,
you
Alright,
is that what we're
yeah,
talking about? Okay,
yep.
cool.
Okay, now how
I know
many
my Bible.
how many times does Peter say?
Like 7 times?
How many does Jesus say?
70
times
times.
77.
Like a bunch, okay?
Infinitely.
A bunch.
Now,
More than you should
Specific-
have
he
to.
says
okay,
a
so
specific
now
number.
now that we've gotten to the point, now
That's
Jesus
going
tells
all
us to
day.
essentially keep forgiving our friends. But when would you say you just stop being friends with that person?
When that friendship becomes no longer prosperous in any terms at all. So if
But then you're supposed to forgive your friend.
Well, you
Well,
forgive,
yeah, no, but, like,
you
what-
don't pursue the relationship.
Thank you very much. That was
Amen.
what I was looking for. What do you want to add,
Yeah.
Gigi?
Yeah, I think as soon as
Spiritually
you
test me
realize
safe.
that the friendship is no longer benefiting the both of you, and it's more like,
That's what I said,
good
dude.
job.
We're on the same page, broski.
Aw.
And I think as soon as it starts becoming like a one-way street, I guess that's when you have to end the relationship, because even though you guys both seem to like forgive each other or whatever, you have to, like Sydney said, you have to be able to pursue the relationship. Spencer, do you want to go?
Yeah.
Because you're like mumbling a
Oh,
little
I'm
bit.
sorry.
But yeah,
When the relationship starts harming you, you should not pursue it, because you can't go through something that's like harming you. But you also have to forgive them, because the Bible says that you need to forgive them, and not forgiving someone is also just not nice. It's kind of mean.
Facts.
Like, that's just you
I'll think
saying,
about it.
I'm too good for you. You made a mistake. Like, you shouldn't, like, talk to me anymore because I'm too cool for you.
Wait,
would you say you can forgive but still end the relationship?
I-
And how
yes,
how would you go about
of
doing
course.
that?
Well, first you got to talk to them, because sometimes those things can be a misunderstanding. Other times it's not. But you have to talk to them. Like, communication in relationships is such a key thing, because if you don't talk to people, you start overthinking and you start like, oh, like this isn't like okay, and then you guys get so like butthurt about like the smallest things that like not talking to them like just starts making the relationship worse. And then also, like, if it's just like so bad that you can't do it, you have to tell them those things, even if you're like afraid to. Because if you don't tell them like, hey, this is like hurting me, and like they don't know that, like you have to tell them, like, but like you can't just like not tell them. So you need to like kind of over communicate with them that like this is harming me and I think I need to end this relationship. And if they pursue you, if they like tell you, okay, like I want to like keep a relationship, then definitely try. But if they like say, well, okay, like I guess we're not friends anymore, then don't pursue them, because if they're not trying to pursue you, you shouldn't try to pursue them back. And just always remembering that you have to forgive them, because don't be mean. That's mean.
I mean, Jesus says in Matthew 18:15-17, if your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. If he listens to you, you have gained your brother. But if he doesn't listen, take 1 or 2 other friends along with you, that every charge may be established by the evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses. If he refuses to listen to them, tell it to the church. And if he refuses to listen even to the church, let him be to you as a Gentile and a tax collector.
Dang, that's straight up leaving
Tax
friendships, bro.
collectors.
So you can forgive them, but forgiving someone doesn't mean that you put yourself below again and get in a relationship that is harmful to you. And that is something that a lot of people get wrong a lot of the time. Spencer can do something that could hurt me, and I can forgive him for that thing, but that doesn't mean that I'll put my, like, let's say I go and start grilling food with Spencer, and then he puts my hand on the hot grill and it burns me. I can forgive him for that, but a good idea, a good way to deal with that is, hey, I forgive you, Spencer. I'll still be friends with you, but a good discernment would be, hey, I just won't be grilling with you again and put myself in a situation where you can burn
No
my
more
hand
grilling.
once more.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
And until it becomes to a point where everything I do with Spencer, I come out with some type of emotional hurt or physical hurt or some type of hurt, then I can say, hey, Spencer, I forgive you for all that you have done, but I'm just not going to put myself in a situation where I can get hurt once again. Would you guys agree with that?
Love that.
Yeah.
I don't know how much
No
time
grilling.
we have or like how long, because I don't want this to be super long.
Yeah.
But
Any last comments?
any last comments? But
no grilling.
because I
choose
kind
your
of wanted to
friends
hear like
wisely.
because I know there was beef or there's something going on. You guys didn't want to be friends or something?
Who are you talking about?
You two.
You,
For, like,
Sydney
a
and
day or
Gianna.
something.
Okay, it was like 2
We
days.
already talked
we already
about
did,
this.
Yeah, we already talked about it
Was
because
it
we're
really
good friends.
just literally you guys didn't talk to each other because you were busy?
It's
No,
not
it
that
was
we were
because
busy. It's that we
You
spent
need
2 weeks together. Okay,
You need to
2
take
weeks.
breaks in friendship.
And you need to
I
take
can
breaks.
stay for months, dude.
Yeah.
I love safe.
We'll
Yeah,
just
but
No,
you haven't
okay.
slept with.
Yeah, you have to be with him
I
all
better hope I
day.
haven't slept with Dave.
Sorry.
Be with him all day,
The
and then
tent.
sleep in the same room, and then be with him all day again for 2 weeks straight.
I was with
It's literally
Spencer
summer
in a
camp, bro.
tent
We
for a
babysitted
week.
the same kids. So
we
it's like-
babysat
It
the
was
same
great.
kid.
We
were
actually-
with
insane.
each other
We act-
for
okay.
24/7.
And I don't think you guys, but
24/7.
something like happened to me.
I know.
No, I'm
It's
trying
crazy.
to tell you guys.
We're
Something
getting
happened to me
the
in the
internet-
first
Okay,
week.
guys, we're ending the show.
Bye, guys.
Something happened to me the first week of summer camp. Like something super tragic happened.
Yeah.
And it like wrecked me.
Mm.
Like absolutely wrecked me.
Mm.
So I just needed to like think through, like
Yeah.
Sydney knows what happened, obviously. And yeah, okay.
Stop.
So it like I just had to take like a second to like make sure to breathe and make sure I'm like
Mm.
am praying over this girl,
Mm.
like praying over this girl and whatever. And then we like spent another week together, and
Mm.
I think me and Sydney were like, we still acknowledge each other as friends. Like we still like
Yeah.
saw each other at church and stuff. And I like texted her. I was like, why aren't you here?
That door's-
Da, da, da.
Mm.
And that's your
Well,
Oh, the dog.
I don't take more time from the audience.
yeah, my bad.
Yeah, other than that, dude, that was a really
Choose your friends
Really?
It was a
wisely.
fruitful
get
conversation.
hurt.
yeah, it was absolutely
was a-
fruitful.
Episode full of tea.
Yeah.
Long,
episode one.
long episode.
Yeah,
I hope you
it's
guys
I
probably
don't
Hour
think
40.
it's probably huh?
there might be some
An hour
cuts in
40.
there
There are
I
gonna
don't
be
think-
cuts.
I
for
don't
your
think we
guys' sake, not for ours.
Yeah, we might cut.
we
some
loved
part.
this.
Just cut my whole part.
I enjoyed
Just
doing
every
this.
time
Did
I
you guys
talk,
have
just
fun?
bleep it.
I
Just
did. I had a
yeah.
lot of fun,
It-
actually.
I
it
did
is-
have
it
a
is
lot of
interesting
fun.
to do. It's
I
fun.
love
to
having
do.
a conversation with you guys.
Yeah, it's so
I
cool.
love having a conversation. And
But yeah,
until
other
I
than
have
that,
to talk about.
that's a really good. I think that we're gonna call that a
That's
wrap.
a wrap.
Anyway,
Yeah.
thank you guys for watching.
Bye,
If you enjoyed this,
guys.
you guys can subscribe, follow us more for.
Don't listen to that
For
stuff.
more?
Don't,
Yeah.
don't subscribe. That's okay. Just watch the
Dave,
next
like,
video.
What are you
Actually,
doing?
that's true. Yeah, just watch it. It's
Just
good.
watch the next
Why-
video.
You don't have to subscribe.
You
just
don't have
watch
to
it. We just
subscribe.
want to get the content.
We just
out.
want
if you like
you
it,
to
you
watch the
can
video.
subscribe.
If you wanted to
Learn
add
something.
anything to go to the conversation, feel free to comment. If you want to reach out and comment on the podcast, our email is the same thing as the show's name. just at gmail.com. So email us and we'll get you out
with an
here.
and sign though, because our logo has
No.
an and sign.
It's an and. It's a normal and.
Wow.
So safe and Spencer show at gmail.com.
gmail.com.
If you want to get on the show, email us. We'll get you on. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Bye,
I didn't
squad.
email him.
Have a great one.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.
Bye.